All right, so we're going to start lying down, so come onto your back. If you want to grab a couple of cushions as well as your strap, you might just feel a little bit more comfortable in some postures as we're holding a little while. So we're going to start in a reclined Baddha Konasana, so soles of the feet together, knees open. So if you want to, pad your knees out with a cushion under the knees just to support that opening. And just bring the hands onto the lower abdomen. So if you're not using cushions, just give the knees a gentle rock side to side a few times. Just do enough to kind of roll through the back of the pelvis. That's it. And then finding somewhere steady in the center. So the soles of the feet are pressing together and the knees just flop out. That's it. So with your hands, just find the space between the hip bones and pubic bones. So that real lower part around the pelvis. And then taking a couple of deeper breaths, try and move the breath into that space of the abdomen. Right down into that inguinal ligament that kind of connects pubic bone and hip bones around that space. So maybe softly just closing the eyes or resting your gaze onto something steady. Just giving yourself enough time here to allow your nervous system to really shift and settle into that parasympathetic side, that rest and digest side. Sometimes you can kind of feel that flip, that switch into the rest and digest side. Your body will naturally take that deeper feeling of a slower breath or that oozy release, deeper breath feeling. See if you can let go of anything that maybe you're holding still around the hips or around the shoulders, around the jaw, the forehead. Maybe we're holding on to a thought or an emotion. See if perhaps we can soften into anything going on there as well. Sometimes we hold on to these things without really realizing it, as we do in the physical body. So take a moment to maybe observe how you're feeling, what you're thinking. And as you bring the mind to the focus of your breath, see if we can soften thoughts away, soften any strong emotions that may be in the body. Bringing a sense of peace or harmony. Take a last couple of full breaths where you are. As you inhale, reach the hands up towards the ceiling. And just hold the arms there. Just let the shoulders stay rooted to the floor, as though the arms are kind of balancing in the shoulder sockets. Just keep the hands feeling soft. Notice the sensation of any blood circulation moving through the arms, through the hands. And softly allow the elbows to find the floor out to the sides of you, and either bring the arms into a cactus position or arms out long to the sides of you, wherever they feel comfortable to be, just keeping the arms back or away from your torso. Take another couple of full breaths, so you feel the breath move into the wider space of the rib cage. If the hips are getting a little bit tense here now, we've been here a while, maybe just give them a little rock side to side, or take a deeper feeling of the breath. We're just here for a couple more breaths. So whenever you next exhale, close your left knee on top of the right one. So just bring a soft twist coming through your back. Allow the pelvis to roll up, but try to keep the shoulders rooted. Adjust your pelvis or the legs if you need to, so you're finding a place where you can just stay in stillness. Allow the weight to drop into the twist, so you're relaxed into the floor. Stay where you are, take a full breath in. And then as you exhale, bring the knees through the center point again. And then close the right knee on top of the left one. Again, just readjust where your pelvis is, where your legs are, until you find a place where you can just drop the weight of your body into the ground. Find that sense of really letting go, allowing that really gentle spiraling of the spine, spiraling of the organs. Noticing the breath move into the belly, right down to that inguinal ligaments between hip bones and pubic bone. Staying where you are, take a full breath in. As you exhale, bring the knees through the center, and again, take the knees over towards the right into your twist. Again, you can adjust the pelvis, adjust the legs, but tuck the knees around a little bit further this time. So you're in a bit more of a square twist, a bit deeper into that rotation. So from here, you're going to extend the left leg, that top thigh, out towards the side, and that right hand can just catch hold of underneath your calf muscle or underneath the ankle. And keep encouraging the toes towards the shoulders. Flex that left foot, so you press out through the heel and curl the big toe back towards you. There can still be a bend in the knee, the leg doesn't have to go straight. But see if you can lengthen that left side of your waist, that top side of the torso. Think about shifting the hip bone away from the lower rib to open that length of the waist. Again, use that space to breathe into, feel the breath physically move through the body. And staying where you are, take a full breath in. And as you exhale, bend that left knee so you bring both legs back through the center. And we're just taking that straight to the other side. So let the knees come over to the left. And just start with the rotation to start with. So tuck the knees around towards your body just a little bit further. Keeping that right shoulder grounded, right shoulder blade sliding down the back of the ribs. And then use an exhale to extend that top leg, your right leg, out to the side. The left hand is going to catch hold of underneath the legs. You rest onto it. Good. Flex the foot, curl the toe back. Good. And then just try to lengthen any further, if we can, that top line of the waist. So right hip bone shimmies away a little bit further from your lower ribs. Moving the breath through that space of your torso. Stay where you are. Take a full breath in. So this time, just bend this top leg. You're going to take this right leg through to the quad stretch, that reclined quad stretch. So sweep the leg around almost towards the right side of your mat. So your right hand can catch the foot. The heel comes towards the buttock and the knee lengthens away down the center line of the mat. So you may need to open your knee further out towards the right line of the mat to make it feel kind of in the right place. It's not too awkward. So reach that right knee forwards and down, so you feel the extension run through that the quads, that top thigh. If there's still room to deepen in, slightly activate the right buttock. So you think about pressing the right front of the hip higher than your knee is. Lifting the front of the hip up, but without your back coming into too much arch. So it's the hip that's lifting, not your spine. So see if you can keep the hip where it is, but just nudge your back closer to the floor, or tuck the tailbone very slightly. Your spine will not come to the ground here, but just keep it drawing downwards. If there's any pinching in the knee, release it if you need to. Take a couple of really deep breaths, moving it as much as you can through that lower space of the torso. Then use this next exhale to draw the abdominals down as you lift the knees back up towards the ceiling. You can slide that knee across a little bit first to help you. So give that right knee a bit of a stretch out. And then we'll take the quad stretch to the other side. So let both knees drop to the right. Keep the feet apart from each other so they have space. Then your left hand tucks the left heel around towards the buttock. So try and lie your foot, so the shoelace bit of the foot, so that big toe is on the ground. Reach that left knee forwards and down. And then using the glutes, use your buttock to try and press the front of that left hip upwards without your spine arching too much. So again, try and tuck the tailbone very subtly, so your lower back comes towards the floor. Notice if anywhere else in the body has started to tense up a little bit. Some stretches, I know this one for me is always feeling rather intense, so soften around my face and jaw. Take a couple of deeper breaths. And very slowly bring yourself back out of this stretch. Slide that right knee up and over. Good, knees back into the center, stretch them out if you need to. Tuck the knees in towards your body, so the thighs come nice and close to the ribs. And then like you're in an upside down child's pose, bring the big toes to touch and the knees just slightly wider than the ribs. So as though your knees are coming towards the armpits, you can really hug the fold of the elbows around the knees to try and hug them in a bit if you can. Good, bring the head and the shoulders to the floor. So allow your tailbone to curl up slightly if it wants to. So you're just keeping that nice extension through the lower back. Take a gentle rock side to side or any soft movement in there. From here, we're coming into happy baby. So bring the hands to hold on to the shoelace bit of your feet and then lift the soles of the feet up to face the ceiling. Good. Use your elbows to really push out through the knees. The knees are wide. And then use your fingers to pull the feet downwards. Try and soften again the shoulders or anywhere that maybe has tightened up a little. Good. If you can, hook your thumb in the gap between your big toe and your second toe, creating a bit of space between the ligaments of the toes there. So hold on to the shoelace bit of your feet. Oh, you have socks on, yeah. Good, yes. You kind of plugged yourself into your feet. See if the shoulders can come any closer to the floor or the tailbone can just draw down. Try and root yourself to the floor on this one. Feel the breath again, move right down into that lower space of the torso. Notice how the hips feel, how the pelvis feels, any gurgling in the abdomen or the organs. There's no rights or wrongs, just observing any sensations in the body. So we're going to keep hold of the right leg exactly as you have it. And I want you to imagine you're balancing a glass of water on the sole of that right foot, keeping it as steady as you can. Let go of the left foot. So the left leg is going to reach away in front of you. You can take a little bend in the knee if you wish to. The left arm is going to reach back behind you. So that left side of the body is really long. That left heel can come to the floor. So we're going to hold here just for a few more breaths. Find some sense of ease through it. But just keep the left foot slightly flexed. It'll just help to keep that side of the pelvis slightly more anchored. If it feels too strong, then take a little bend to the left knee so the foot is on the floor rather than pressing out. Keep balancing that glass of water on the foot. From here, you're going to pass this right foot into your left hand. So imagine now you're coming into an upside down pigeon pose. So hold the foot with the left hand and the right hand's going to come to the knee. So you're pressing the knee away from you and spin the ankle towards you. So the shin is kind of parallel with the shoulders as much as you can create. So if holding the foot is kind of pulling the ankle a little bit, try holding onto the heel or the Achilles, your ankle a little bit more, wherever feels good to be. So you want to keep this right foot slightly flexed just to protect your knee. Find a place where maybe your heel presses slightly further out towards the left. So your knee is traveling towards the center of the chest sort of line. And I feel it coming in towards the outer hip, or right towards the piriformis, which connects the hip socket into the hip. Tiny little muscles, you feel quite acute. So play around with it, some soft movement until you find a good kind of squeeze of stretch in there. Like we did with the twist, just see if you can lengthen the sides of your torso. So notice this might have kind of scrumpled in the right side of the waistline. See if you can push that right sit bone towards the floor so you lengthen the waistline a little bit. If that doesn't quite make sense for your body to adjust, then don't worry about it. Take another full breath where you are. And then soften this leg back towards you and extend the foot towards the ceiling with the hands either around the back of the thigh, or those of you that are a little bit more open, you can take the peace fingers to the big toe and just let the left hand rest onto the hip bone. If you prefer to use your strap, then please feel free to. Again, if there's any pulling in the back or it's feeling a little bit too uncomfortable, then take a bend into your left knee again so that foot's on the floor. And find the place where you're feeling the stretch in this right hamstring at the back of this thigh. If it's feeling too strong at the back of the right knee, take a little bend into the knee and think thigh coming towards the torso a bit further. Maybe you find that in the hamstrings then. Have about another 5 breaths here. See how much the breath can allow you to release it maybe a little bit deeper. Very slowly bend that right knee. If you have a strap, release it. I'm going to find a full body stretch out before we take the other side, just to open this front of the hip. So slide both legs away and reach both arms back behind you. And just take a couple of deep breaths into that lengthening of the body. Give the ankles a little roll out, any shimmying that feels good. And then on a stronger exhale, bring the knees back in towards your body. We start with a happy baby. So hands come around to hold on to the shoelace bit of the feet. Plug the thumbs into that gap between big toe and second toe. And then open the soles of the feet to the ceiling, resting a glass of water or a glass of wine, whichever you prefer, on the soles of your feet. Good. Use your elbows to press the knees open. And the fingers pull the feet down. Try to root the tailbone to the floor and lengthen the back of the neck. Maybe now we've concentrated a little bit of time and focus onto your right leg. Just observe if any differences have come in from one leg to the other. Any differences in sensations that maybe you notice. Again, there's no right or wrong, but just observing. So keep the left leg exactly as you have it. Send the right leg away from you, the right arm back. Again, same applies. You can keep a bend in that right knee so the heel can rest to the floor with a bit more comfort, or push the leg out straight. Good. And now we're resting a glass of wine on the sole of the foot. They seem to be upright. Breathing right down into that lower belly. Find a sense of softness in it where you can. Feel into the space that you've created. And then from here, we're going to come into that reclined pigeon pose. So your right hand is going to take hold of this foot. The left hand is going to press the knee away from you as you hinge that ankle in towards you. So try and bring the shin as parallel towards the shoulders as you can create. Again, if you notice your foot is kind of rolled or the ankle is rolled, try flexing the foot. You can hold on to the heel or the ankle if it kind of helps to stabilize or square up the foot. And then play around with the positioning of it slightly. So for me, I have to kick my heel out a little bit further towards the right, which gives me the stretch around that outer hip into the piriformis. If you can allow your right elbow to rest down to the floor, so you're not having to hold the arm too much. Yeah. See if that left leg can just straighten out another inch longer, go longer with the leg. Again, just notice the space around the waistline. If you draw your sit bones towards each other or that left hip bone away from the lower ribs, Just create a bit more space in the torso, and then take a last couple of deep breaths here. Gently bring that leg back center, and then extend the heel up towards the ceiling. And can we find this hamstring stretch? So either hands rest in the back of the thigh, or with your strap around the foot, or using your left peace fingers to grab hold of the big toe, and the right hand can just rest to the right hip. That's it. Then one side may feel different to the other, so find the place where you're getting the stretch on this side into the hamstrings, so the back of the thigh. If there's any pulling or stinging at the back of the knee, then take a little more bend into the knee so the thigh comes towards the body. When you have stretch, then see where you can soften around it. So maybe the shoulders can soften, the head or that right leg. Maybe you can take a deeper breath. Last full breath in. And as you exhale, gently release this leg, release the strap, and again come into the full body stretch. So lengthen that leg away, reach the arms back, have a little wriggle into it if you need to. And gently bring your feet to the floor and either roll yourself to one side. You're going to come up to seated, so however feels kind of soft to get yourself up. If you want to be sat onto a cushion or anything here, it might feel again a little bit more comfortable. We're coming into the Baddha Konasana with the knees open. So if hips are feeling tight, if you elevate them a little bit, it will feel more comfortable. Okay? So to start with, bring the hands around behind you so the fingertips are on the floor. Take a little bend into the elbows and then squeeze the shoulder blades together so you feel the chest space open and broaden. Then push into the fingertips so that your chest pushes forwards. Try to squeeze the knees downwards from there. So if you think about your feet having the little toe edge pressing towards each other and the big toes open out. So your feet are opening out like a book. That feels awkward for your ankles, then don't worry about that. Focus on the space around your chest. Maybe close the eyes or find a focus point to rest your gaze to. Just feel the breath physically move around the chest space, coming right up into the upper space of the lungs. Moving wider into the ribs. On your next exhale, bring the hands around to hold on to the ankles or the shins. I'm going to take just 4 breaths into a tense and release to kind of set the hips out a bit deeper. So keep the soles together, holding onto the legs, whether your hands or your inner thighs here. Just find action. So as you inhale into your arms coming up. You create a bit of around them. Then as you exhale, let relax and let yourself lean forwards as you press the knees a little bit wider. As you inhale, push the upwards into your arms, the arms into the legs. And as you exhale, let the hips relax so they open out a little bit wider. Again, inhale, push the legs up into your arms, the arms resist it, create contraction around the pelvis. Exhale, let it relax. Last one. Inhale, press the legs up into the arms. And exhale, let it relax. Just let the head fold into wherever it hangs to. And soften through the shoulders. So the positioning of your arms might affect how your shoulders feel here, or the positioning of your hands. You can hold on to feet or the floor or the shins, and tuck the elbows into the waist or hook them over the knees. Find a place where you feel a sense of release or ease. Feel the breath move into the back ribs, softly into the belly. Notice how your neck and shoulders feel. Last couple of breaths here. Slowly roll yourself up straight. Give the legs a little wriggle if you need to. You're going to stay here in the Baddha Konasana. So your right hand is going to press into that inner fold of the right knee. So we come into the twist, some of you will be familiar with. The left hand is behind your back. So press into the hand behind you to keep you nice and tall. Take a full breath in. And as you exhale, keep the legs relaxed. So this right hand is just going to press the bone of the leg down towards the floor as your shoulders turn towards the left knee. So pushing that knee down. Think straightening that arm, so energetically opening that hip. Lean away from the right leg, so lean towards the left knee. A full breath in where you are. And as you exhale, soften out of it, bring yourself through center. And we just switch sides with that. So bring the right hand behind you. The left hand finds the fold of the left knee. Take a full breath in, grow tall. Then exhale, press the knee towards the ground as the shoulders turn towards the right. Full breaths into the belly. So again, the movement of the abdomen here will affect the psoas, the hip flexors around that left hip. Stay where you are, take a full breath in. And as you exhale, soften the body back center. So use your hands under the knees to help the legs come back up to center again. Creak. Feet to the floor, just let the hands rest to the sides and give your knees a gentle rock from side to side. Okay, if you have a strap or a belt, then grab hold of that. Don't worry if you don't have one. You're going to keep the left heel tucked in towards you and the right leg extending out to the side. So if you have a strap, just wrap the strap around the shoelace bit of your left foot that you have tucked in. And then the strap is going to lie on top of your right thigh. Both sides of it, yeah. So it goes over the right thigh and then around your lower back. So your left hand can come around and grab hold of it. So try and reach that left hand as far round your waist as you can and grab hold of it. If you're not using a strap, just grabbing hold of any clothing or anything you can kind of grab hold of is good. That's it. Your right hand is going to rest onto the fold of the left knee. So inhale, grow tall as you can. As you exhale, turn around towards the left. Pull into the strap so you feel that left shoulder pull open. You might feel, yeah, as soon as you start to twist, you can wriggle that hand around a little bit further. Good. Really try and sit down through that right sit bone. Good. And bring your gaze towards the left shoulder that's behind you. So Bernard, bring your right hand to that left knee into the twist. Yeah. Lovely. So allow that left head of the shoulder to keep opening back. And then try dropping your head or your right ear towards your right shoulder. So you really lengthen down that left side of the neckline as well. Relax into the jaw. Relax the muscles of the face. Any strength that's in the body is that left arm pulling into the strap. Last couple of breaths here. Slowly release it. So release the head and take your time to unravel that left arm. Might feel a little bit tingly with the blood stopping. Give the shoulder a roll out. Then from here, we're just going to turn in towards this right leg. So you can just shimmy the hips around a little bit so you feel a bit more square to it. You can stay sat on a cushion or anything if you're there. From here, we take a fold over this leg. So if you want to use your strap here around that right foot, then feel free to do so. You don't have to use the strap by any means. Before you fold, take a full breath in and then exhale to lengthen over the leg. So particularly if you're using the strap, try to avoid any forcing from the shoulders. So keep the arms softening so the neck can stay long. And think traveling forwards towards the foot rather than down with the head. So think your head coming towards your toes rather than your thigh. Take the last couple of breaths where you are. So very slowly begin to roll yourself up. Release the strap, but keep it on the floor. We're going to stay with this right leg straight. Your left knee is going to come up to the ceiling. Give the knee a stretch out if you need to. It's been bent a little while. We're going to rotate it around the other way into a half hero pose. So a little bit like the quad stretch that we had. You want this sole of the foot, the top of the foot, sorry, to be on the floor. Now a little bit more comfortable in this one if you're on a cushion again. So particularly you'll notice this, the hips want to stay rolling. So feel free to try sitting just onto a block or a cushion under the right sit bone. Might level out the pelvis a little bit, or both if that's more comfortable. So if you need something under there, then try it out. Good. You might also need to just untuck your calf muscle or your hamstring so the fold of that knee feels a little bit more comfortable. Yeah, good. The hamstring, the fold here will feel a little bit more restricted, but just see where we get to. So again, using the strap if you wish to, take a full breath in as you lift, and as you exhale, folding forwards, leaning forwards. It feels more comfortable to keep the hands on the floor for some support. Do. If the hands meet the edges of the foot, then maybe reach down for it. Good. Ideally, the left knee is with the right knee, just a couple of inches between them. If it feels too tricky in the knee, feel free to open that left knee out as far as it feels comfortable for your knee. Make the pose work for your body, not your body work for the pose. Deepen into the breath. Last full round of breath. Very slowly rolling yourself back up. Just come out of here, roll yourself slightly on towards that right sit bone. So you can slide this bent knee across and then straighten it out just to stay easy with the knee. Give the legs a little wobble in and out a couple of times. And then we switch sides, so bring the right heel in towards you, the left leg out to the side. And you want your strap or belt just to wrap over the shoelace bit of that foot. And then it goes over the left thigh and around your lower back. So your right hand is going to sweep all the way around and grab hold of the strap behind you. So the left hand is with the bent knee. Good. Take a breath in as you lift all. Yes, good, Chris. And then as you exhale, spin the shoulders round, pull into the strap. You may already notice you can adjust it slightly, pass your hand further round. Bernard, bring the strap that's around your right foot but over the left thigh. It's out in front of you, that's it. And then your right hand comes around, you got it. Bring the right hand to the strap and the left hand to your knee. There you go, good. Spin the shoulders. And then your left ear is going to drop down to the left shoulder. So keep gently pulling into the strap so it pulls that right shoulder, right side of the chest open. And just adjust where your head is until you feel that lengthening or stretch through the sideline of your neck. So you can soften into the jaw, the muscles of the face. Take a couple of really deep breaths. Stay where you are, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, very slowly coming out of that, chin towards the chest and unravel that right arm. Shimmy yourself around so you're square to this left leg. So again, folding into this janu, so you can take the strap around the left foot if you wish to. Take an inhale as you lift. And then exhale, lengthen over the leg. Soften into it where you can. Last couple of breaths here. Very slowly start to unravel your spine back up straight. You can release the strap, but just leave it on the floor where it is. Lift this right knee up. Again, just give it a bit of a stretch out if you need to. And I'm going to flip the foot around the other way. So remember, if it's more comfortable to be sat onto a cushion, particularly underneath that left sit bone, then prop yourself up as you need to. Ideally, the knees are together, but there's no need to force them there. If it's not comfortable, open the knee out a little bit further. Okay, you may also want to untuck your calf muscle or the hamstring just to kind of align the muscles. And then take an inhale, grow tall. And as you exhale, draw yourself forwards and over that leg. Again, maybe the hands feel good with the strap. Don't feel you have to use it. If you used it last time, hands can rest at the floor or under the calf muscle or around the foot. A really full breath. Last couple of breaths where you are. Take your time. Just drop the strap down. Slowly roll yourself back up. So roll yourself slightly on towards your left sit bone. So you bring that knee across and up just to release the knee out straight. Good. Give the legs a little bit of a wiggle. So coming through more of a yin vinyasa, just take the legs to sweep around. So you come into a downward facing dog, just to stretch out the back of his knees. Get a couple of breaths upside down. Keep it as soft as you want to. So paddle the feet. Take a really deep couple of breaths. Get that oxygen flushed through to the brain. Slowly on your exhale, bring the knees to the floor so you come into a child's pose. On an inhale, come up to all fours. And then keep the hips traveling forwards and down so you come in onto your belly. So just roll the spine into the ground. So just after all those forward folds, just going to open out the front of the hips a little bit, just with a gentle back bend, gentle extension. We're just going to come into a soft cobra. So bring the arms into a cactus position. The feet can be open as wide as the mats. Let the toes turn out slightly. And so then as you inhale, lift the chest. Maybe the arms lengthen, the toes reach away. Just enough to lift the chest up, not necessarily even all of the ribs. Just holding there a couple of breaths. See if as you exhale, you can really pull the abdominals up towards the spine. And then on your next exhale, soften the chest back towards the floor. Bring the legs close together this time. And taking that cobra again from here. So inhale just to lift the chest, doesn't have to be high by any means. Pause just for a couple of breaths, using the exhale to draw the abdominals in. And on your next exhale, soften the chest towards the floor. Bring the head onto the back of your hands. Then just bend the knees so the feet come in towards the body. So you can adjust the legs so they find a place where they can kind of just hang. Just feel the breath again move into the abdomen. If you wish to, from here, just for the last 5 breaths, you can reach the hands around to grab hold of the feet. If it brings any sense of strain to the body, then leave it out for today. So just allowing the head to hover, or you can turn the head to one side for 2 breaths and then switch sides with the other. But not working into any back bend, just a gentle lengthening of the front line of the body. If you have the head turned, then turn it the other side. Slowly release the legs all the way back to the floor. Lift up the chest very slightly. So the last one just for the shoulders. I'm going to turn to face you. So imagine my legs are still out flat. I have a sofa in my way. You're going to take your arms, walk them as far out to the side. So have one arm in front of the other, obviously, to start with, as far as they can go to the sides. And then allow your head to soften down towards the arms. Not going to hold in this one too long. It can feel quite strong. So gently just bring yourself up and switch your arms over so the other one is in front and the other one is closer to your chest. And again, lengthen them out like your fingers are reaching as far away from you as they can go. And then allow your chin to rest into the arms. Feel the breath move into the back of the ribs. Slowly lift the chest up very slightly, and then whichever arm is kind of on the floor, you can just roll yourself onto your back from here for Shavasana. So just flip yourself over. If you want to pad yourself out with any cushions or blankets or anything, grab what you need, move what you need to, and then settle into a Shavasana. So either your full corpse pose, legs and arms out flat. This would be ideal, again, just to keep the front of the hips open after we've done lots of folding. But if it's more comfortable for your back to keep the feet on the floor, the knees bent, then please find where you're comfortable. Hands either resting out to the sides, or maybe resting into the lower abdomen again, connecting the breath into that deeper part of the core. Softly closing the eyes. Finding the space between the breaths. A gentle moment of pausing between inhale and exhale. Allowing you to find that cliche saying, but there's space between your thoughts. A less busy mind. Slow down the breath even further if you can. As though you're breathing in slow motion. Without force. Begin to bring a little bit of energy through the breath again. Bring any soft movements to the body. If the legs are out straight, then just bend the knees to the feet, find the ground, and let your spine reset to the floor. Very slowly, just roll yourself over to one side. Just finding a fold on your side there. And then use the hands to help you press to a comfortable seat. Bringing the hands to the legs and keep the eyes closed if you can. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. And close your practice this evening, bringing to mind one thing that you can feel grateful for today. Acknowledge one thing about yourself that you know you do well, one thing that you're good at. And lastly, recognize how getting to your yoga mat has served you in some way today. And closing that to the heart center, bring the hands together. Take a deep full breath in. And as you exhale, bring the head to your hands. Thank you, guys. Namaste. Well done. Thank you, guys.